This is Calgary in 2035, or at least it could be. Over the last few years, our city has changed. It has grown, it has struggled to keep up. Some people say for the better, some say for the worse. But recently, something's shifted. We've started hearing more about new projects, the new arena, a revitalized downtown, a spark of life in our city's core. And pipeline projects, once thought dead, now possibly even reborn. But in all those announcements, those plans and those renderings, it can be hard to see the final picture. That's what this video is all about. It's not a promise, it's definitely not a guarantee. It's about putting all those pieces together and that vision of what's possible. Join me as we step 10 years into the future. Welcome to Calgary in 2035. So where does it all begin? Well, let's zoom out for a second and look at how many people will be living in Calgary in 2035. Well, right now we have almost 1.6 million residents in Calgary, and in recent years we have grown incredibly fast. But over the next 10 years, we're expected to slow down in some of that growth. Yet still, most projections are leading to about 1.9 to as high as almost 2 million residents in our city. That's between 350,000 and almost 500,000 new residents of Calgary, in a city that sometimes feels like it's already bursting at the seams. So with this big vision for the future, Calgary is gonna have to move differently. The city's answer, a green line, a light rail mega project extending from Calgary's deep south to Eau Claire in the city's core, and then all the way up to north central Calgary. The budget, $6.25 billion. One of our city's largest infrastructure undertakings in its history. But this isn't just about trains, this is about the neighborhoods and how they'll be impacted. Bridgeland, Ramsey, Inglewood, Crescent Heights, all of these will be reimagined with new housing and mid-rise apartments, restaurants and cafes, all within walking distance to fast, reliable transit. For the first time in Calgary ever, it means more options for those of us who don't want or need a car. It means more community, more density, more life along the line. The Green Line is estimated to move 45,000 cars off Calgary roads, which is a good thing, because in 10 years, who knows what's on the roads? It could be robo-taxis, autonomous driving cars, but it's not just transportation that's important. It's a smarter city that we can look forward to. When most people think about Calgary, they think about energy, oil and gas, resources pulled from the ground. But what if some of the next big ideas are not physical at all? With the AI revolution, Calgary is becoming a spot that's talked about to really lead some of the infrastructure that will be behind what powers that future. Now, all of us are really curious about how AI is going to shape our future, and for some of us, it can even seem scary. Calgary, interestingly enough, is well positioned to lead in this space. New reports have came out looking at Alberta and our city specifically because of its access to energy, clean power grids, and the fact that Calgary is in a very cool climate. Alberta is well positioned because we have so much land, so the scalability of our real estate is huge. Our workforce is young and well educated, well positioned to find those jobs in this new economy. And the one thing needed to pull all of this off is an abundance of power, readily available and also cost effective. And here in Alberta, we have some of the cheapest energy anywhere on the continent. AI is not just about replacing jobs. It's about unlocking the future and new industries, and Calgary, for once, is early to the table. From data centers to clean tech, agri-tech, fintech, even bio-innovation, Calgary's not just preparing for the future, we're trying to build it. In 2035, our most valuable resource may no longer be in the ground. It might be that we're a much smarter city, but a smart city still needs a soul. So let's talk about what it will feel like on the street. For years, Calgary's core has felt somewhat empty. It's not because people don't work there, they definitely do. It's just because of our plus 15 system, so many people are above the streets. When you walk around the city in January, you might not see another person. It's almost as if Calgary is two distinct cities, one during the day and one at night. But the city's downtown development incentive program is looking to change all of that by offering funding for up to 6 million square feet of converted offices into new residences, hotels, and even mixed-use spaces. And if you've ever traveled to great cities around North America, you'll see it, some of these mixed-use spaces become hubs for businesses, entrepreneurs, and community. If we pull this off, downtown becomes a place where people live, not just work. But if we want to draw people back into the core, we're going to need a magnet. If you've lived in Calgary for any length of time, you know about our arena, the Saddle Dome, right? It's hosted Stanley Cup runs and rodeos and concerts, but it's well past its prime. Now, after years of debate, false starts and renegotiations, our city is finally getting a new arena. A project like this means so much more than just hockey. It means more live music, concerts that we would never be able to land before with the Saddle Dome, more global events, more culture in our city. The Rivers District, east of downtown, will be completely transformed. Try to imagine what this will be like when you go to this place where there's public plazas and bars and restaurants, shopping, and hotels. Some of the most exciting hotel projects announced in Western Canada with the JW Marriott, built by Truman. These are hotels and residences, just a small portion of what will be experienced there. Finally, Calgary will have a place to go after 6 p.m. downtown. One of the projects that our family is most excited for is the new Arts in Common building. We've been season ticket holders of Theatre Calgary for many years now, and we believe in supporting live events. With the new Glenbow Museum renovation and the Arts in Common building looking so fabulous, we might finally get that piece that attracts even more great events to our city. Right beside the arena transformation is another project that is quietly reshaping Calgary's future, the BMO Centre. This is a $500 million investment in the future of our city's events and conventions. This is over 1 million square feet. Finally, a world-class facility that's able to host tech summits and medical conventions and all these other sorts of things to draw more business and investment into this area. Cities like Calgary, we need to compete. A center like this gives us a competitive edge. And that ripple effect economically will go into those hotels, those restaurants, and back into our city's core. Of course, none of this means that Calgary is forgetting where it came from, because energy, it's not just a part of our past, it's still a pathway forward into our future. Recently in the news, there's been talk of Canada-wide infrastructure projects vital to our nation's economy once again being back on the table, like a new pipeline out to Prince Rupert, shipping 1 million barrels a day. There's hurdles, political will, permits, but it's still very much being considered, and it speaks to Alberta's boldness that we continue to look outward. When making this video, I tried to imagine putting all these pieces together, and what I saw was a city that is transforming from the core outwards, from industry to innovation, from highways to rails, from sleepy to a city with some soul. Big bets are exciting, but what does it all feel like once it's built? Let's imagine this city from the street, not the skyline, and what it would be like to actually live in Calgary, how that would feel in 2035. Well, maybe you're closer to the core, using the C train to get where you need to go, or you just go for a walk for dinner because there are so many more options now. After dinner, you're heading out to the new Performance Arts Center for a show, or maybe a Calgary playoff game. The city feels more alive, more vibrant, like there's so much more going on than there was just 10 years earlier. And in that future, hopefully not one where you require a social credit score just to go out, right? You'll be able to maybe take an autonomous car out to the mountains or order something on Amazon, and seconds later, it's delivered via drone to your doorstep. A decade ago, Calgary was beautiful, but sometimes a bit lonely. It wasn't always easy to meet new people or to stumble upon something unexpected. But as those districts start to fill in and those downtown conversions start to bring thousands of more people into the core, Calgary will finally get what so many of the world's great cities already have: a stronger sense of community. Of course, not everything is perfect in the future, and more people will mean more demand. And so some forecasts for Calgary housing prices actually show them going up anywhere from 25 to 35%. Now, if you look at the last decade, that would be quite small in comparison, but either way, the affordability in our city is projected to still be in a spot where you can own something and be happy. But with new zoning in place and increased densification, there's going to be more options to choose from. Townhomes, multi-unit dwellings, even laneway homes. All of this with the goal of stopping that urban spread of Calgary further and further out by bringing people closer into the city. It's trying to balance growth with livability. As a dad, I think a lot about the type of city our kids will inherit. Are we building the kind of Calgary that will help them thrive? Will we still have to choose between opportunity and quality of life, or can we find a balance for them that works, where there's good jobs, but yet still good access to the mountains and beautiful pathways by the river? Could their kids walk to school still? Those are the kind of things that are on my mind, and if we really find a balance between opportunity and quality of life, I think our kids will have a bright future. Because it's those little moments, like dropping your kid off at school, the Saturday markets, the walkability of your neighborhood, all of that stuff really matters. So can we strike this balance? I sure hope so. And what about for the people who visit this city? They'll still find the same great Calgary with its character, its soul, the stampede, but now year-round, it's gonna feel a lot more exciting, much more vibrant. And with projects that we haven't even discussed, like a bullet train that takes you out to the mountains in just 90 minutes, who knows what the future will hold? I imagine Calgary as a place with even more great stories to tell. A place that people move to, not just through. It's not just a stopping ground on the way to somewhere else. This is a place where you set down roots and be a part of its future. Cities aren't built in a day, but every day we have the chance to choose what type of city we want to become. Calgary in 2035, it's not a guarantee. There's no promise that all these projects will be built or that the economy will cooperate. And it's really hard to tell how this city will feel once we have another 350,000 people living here, much denser neighborhoods, new skylines, and maybe even new priorities. And if history tells us anything, investment breeds innovation. That means that by 2035, with all these projects, there could be so much more on the table that hasn't even been announced yet. If you're thinking about your place in this city's future and you believe in it the way my team and I do, then let's talk. Because the people that are buying, selling, and investing in Calgary, they're the ones shaping the future. Okay, now's your chance to absolutely roast me in the comments. What did I get wrong? Like, do you believe this is gonna be the future, or do you think it's gonna be some dystopian hellscape where AGI has taken all the jobs and we're all just subordinate? Are we even gonna be a part of Canada? Will there be new pipelines? Okay, the future, imagining it, it's exciting. But I'd love to hear what you think so we can build it together.